at some point I'm going to spend longer on this story. And I understand some people out there are like, oh, I just want to talk about, Joel Embiid not being able to play or how LeBron looked or what happened in the NBA All-Star game. And we did that. But as I get older, increasingly, I'm aware, I think, in a way that more and more Americans are going to become aware that we are in a massive Cold War so far that has not turned confrontational with China. And effectively what's going on with the NBA's relationship with China is the NBA is taking money from modern-day Nazis. That's what's going on in China. People talk a lot about being on the right and the wrong side of history. So let me be clear about this. If we were going to analogize any country today with Nazi Germany, China would be that country. The United States government rarely labels any country as committing genocide. This is not partisan. It's not Republican. It's not Democratic. It's not independent. Every single one of you out there and your children are going to have to deal with China. And what is going on right now is we are in the middle of a massive global campaign to decide, is the United States standard of government, we are imperfect, but we are the greatest country that has ever existed in the history of the world, is our freedom, is our ability to endorse basic human rights for freedom of speech, for honest and transparent court proceedings, for the absolute essence of a Western democracy, which has been the future of many countries around the world for a long time, going to triumph? Or is China, which is a authoritarian, totalitarian, Chinese communist dictatorship, going to be the future of the world? Now, we don't talk enough about this, but if you are in China right now, you may not be able to stream my radio program because certain websites are banned if the people on those websites say things that make the Chinese Communist government uncomfortable. And what the NBA is doing is effectively the equivalent of taking Nazi money and not saying a word about what's going on in the country. Look, they have concentration camps in China right now. You've got NBA players that are walking off the court, refusing to play, putting social justice warrior slogans on their jersey for things that are going on in the United States that are a scintilla as awful as what's going on in China. And while they will rip America to the high heavens, they won't say a word to condemn Chinese genocide, the taking away of basic human rights that's going on right now in Hong Kong, the ending of democracy. They won't say a word because they are taking money from China and putting it right into their pockets. Everybody, LeBron James wants to claim that he's a hero. Do you know why LeBron James won't say a word about Chinese genocide? Because he wants Space Jam 2 to play in Chinese theaters. Think about that for a minute. LeBron James is basically fine with modern-day Nazis so long as they will let his movie play in that country. Think about it. Think about everything you know about World War II. Everybody in the NBA is obsessed with telling you about the right and the wrong side of history. Imagine what people would say about many different American sports figures if they had been fine with taking money from Nazis and not spoken up and said a word to them so that their movies could play in Berlin. And so that Adolf Hitler was able to continue to give them money. That's what's going on right now with the NBA. And look, it just happened in China. They said that being gay is a mental illness. No NBA player says a word. They pulled the All-Star game out of North Carolina because in North Carolina they had a bill saying you should use the bathroom of your gender. They pulled the All-Star game out of North Carolina for that. But no NBA player will even say a word about China saying being gay is a mental illness. If you are going to decide to be a woke corporation, which is effectively what the NBA has decided, then you need to apply the standard of wokeness no matter where you are around the world. You can't take money from Nazis and celebrate your relationship with China while denigrating everything in American life. I'm fired up about this, and also fired up about the fact that so few people in the American sports media who should be letting you all know about this story and this hypocrisy will actually say anything. They're all sheep. They're all afraid of making NBA players, coaches, and league officials angry by holding them accountable for their own words. I'm going to keep teeing off on this. It's why this show's going to grow, because the truth matters, and it matters a great deal.